gem. You'll never be who you want to be. This is kind of a more focused topic because like I've talked about this topic in little tidbits and little clips in my previous videos. But I wanted to dedicate a whole video on this topic on you'll never be who you want to be and why that's actually okay. And it's actually very, very common to basically, like, let's say, for example, I said in a previous video, like, let's say you are currently worth $35 an hour at your job, but you believe you're worth $50 an hour at your job. Well, I don't think you'll ever get to how much you think you are worth ever in your life. Like that won't say that you will never get to $50 an hour, but the thing is that people never really accept their current position. When people get to that new level, when they get to that $50 an hour, they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I made it, but I actually want to be at $60 an hour. And this iterates infinitely. And let's say they're $1,000 an hour, and now they're like, I want to be at $2,000 an hour. Like, people will basically keep pushing that goalpost more down. And a lot of people, they don't know when to stop. And I want to tell you in this video that you will never be the person you want to be, but that's okay. And a lot of us deep down have an idealized version of who we want to be. That person with more money, the person that is more fit, the person who is more emotionally controlled, the person who is more loving to their friends and family, the person who is more faithful, the person who is more loyal. All these wonderful traits about humans, right? There's always a better version that you can be and that you aspire to be. And the thing is that asymptotically you will never get there because this version always updates as soon as you get to that previous form. Let's say at like some time frame before in your life you got to the point that you wanted to be, but now you want the next thing. Like me personally, like weight loss, for example, when I was around like 300 pounds, all I ever wanted to be was like 200 pounds. I was like, oh my gosh, if I could just be 200 pounds, that'll be amazing. And now here I am at 200 pounds, and I'm like, okay, I actually want to be at 175, 180. And, you know, I don't really accept it. I do have I have a reason to actually get down there because I'm still like overweight by all means, like in terms of fats and whatnot at 200 pounds. But I want to get there, and it's like a chasing of that next goal. I'm never really going to be the type of person I really think that I want to be. And even I would imagine at 170 or 175, I'll be like, oh my gosh, okay, well now I'm here, but I want to actually bulk now. Like it's always going to be changing that update. And I think for a lot of these games with chasing next thing, I don't think that you should stop, because obviously there's some logical aspects of it. Like let's say you are making money and let's say you're worth $15 an hour, but $15 an hour working 40 hours a week doesn't really afford you that much. You're not really getting by in life. Well, you probably shouldn't just stay there and try to keep going with that for the rest of your life and never improve. No, you probably do want to improve and maybe get to like $20 an hour as your next milestone and whatnot. You always have this next goal of yours. Then yes, when you're early on in the journey and when the compounding curve is the most exciting at t=0 relative to the rest of your life, then yes, keep chasing the next goal. You need that. It's very important. Like even me at 300 pounds, yes, I should be having these goals in front of me and keep going and going and going. But the thing about this curve, where in mathematics it's called a logarithmic curve, where it pretty much goes exponential at first, and then that curve basically slows down over time, or it looks like it's slowing down over time, but it asymptotically hits a y equals some type of number, and you pretty much never get there, but you get closer and closer to it as time goes on. And at this point, at this logarithmic curve, when you are getting to the point where there's diminishing returns, this is when you want to think about accepting yourself. And is my effort to improve iteratively, like let's say you were making $10,000 a month post-tax, and this is really wonderful money. You can support yourself and your family. You have some money left over, and you're like, damn, this is a really nice life. I mean, of course you can like go even higher, because then $10,000 a month is it's pretty good. But of course, there's also like 25,000, like 50,000. If you're like 100,000 and you're really secured, But this type of money, $100,000 a month versus like $200,000 a month, how much of your life would really change from going from there to that? Let's say you have to, like, let's say you're owning a whole fucking business at that point, but if you want to increase to that, you need to start working like 10 hours more a day or something, and you gotta hire all these people, and you gotta go through so many headaches and go through this year-long investments to get to that point, but your life doesn't really change that much. Okay, well, that's a place where you want to think about accepting where you are. That doesn't mean that you stop working, because the moment you stop working and stop fueling that machine is when alpha decay comes in and your money source goes down. Of course, you keep working. If anything, you improve a little bit, and I don't know how to metrically measure that, but you improve a little bit. You just do a little bit more, like a little bit of a compounding curve day by day, but you don't really try to push at large steps every day like that, because it's just such a large consumption of energy, right? So you think about this aspect of you'll never be the person that you want to be, and I will say that it's okay, but it's also that I don't think it's a bad thing with like this chasing of the next thing. Of course, if it's productive to what you want and is actually spiritually good, I guess that's hard to describe, like what is good anyways, but like let's say the baseline is that you will have more options to help your fellow kin, then yeah, like if you got to make more money to do that, or if you got to increase your fitness to play for kids better, or you need to basically be more healthy to live a longer life, to have more time to spend with your friends and family, then yes, pursue those things. But there's also a point of diminishing returns as well, where like, is it really worth all the efforts? Like, for example, like Brian Johnson and whatnot, he's having this very interesting health protocol, and I don't know, will it get to him to his 120 years of age? I don't know, we'll see. But like do you really need to do that and autistically obsess over each data point like that, when you can just eat a pretty decent diet with lots of meat and fruit and vegetables and reduce processed foods as much as possible? Yeah, you can get like most of the results with not that much effort, like autistically doing your blood work and whatnot. Like, I don't know, but yeah, that's pretty much all I was saying in this video. Why you'll never be the person you want to be, but why that's okay, but also like diminishing returns, mathematics, logarithms, that type of deal. And you kind of just have to analyze where you are in your own life, and do you want to keep going and pursuing? For most people, they should keep going, because it is only a small amount of people who will actually be at this point of diminishing returns. Or do they really want to work more to get to this point? Well, you kind of just have to assess that for yourself. But yeah, that's what I'm saying in this video. I'll see you guys.